Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for turning on to our channel and making time for this conversation. I sincerely hope that there's a lot of takeaway for this conversation for all of you. My name is Devagya, and I'll be your host for this session. And I'm so eager here to welcome Mr. Harish Munireddy, founder and CEO of Weatherseal. After so many lefts and rights, I'm so glad that Sir is here with us today for this conversation. Thank you again, Sir. I remember my first time speaking with Sir. Um, it was more of a regular conversation, and he mentioned something like, "I do not chase." I'm not exactly quoting, but that's what something he said. Like, "I do not chase recognition. I'm more focused on getting the work done." Now, this one statement is a lot actually. So I just wanted for you to come here and talk to us and, just be out there with your journey and tell us how it was. So thank you so much for being here again. My understanding of you, through all that you've been doing and going over your work has been somebody who's, like a complete package from planning, visualizing to executing. So yeah, pretty fascinated. Um, you started with Weatherseal in the year 2015, if I'm not wrong, and it's been 6 years now. 2021, it's been 6 years, and in 6 years the company has went ahead and made a pretty strong mark. I mean, it stands a firm name in the market, so congratulations to you on that. And your journey is, you started from the beginning, from the core of making a company. So I'm sure this would have been, quite a journey, quite many experiences for you to share. So let's just get all in and talk about you and, how did you go about from the, formation to the growth of Weatherseal. So
Yeah,
welcome, sir.
yeah. Good afternoon, Devagya.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad to be here.
So glad for you to make time for this conversation.
No,
All right,
absolutely.
we'll start from the beginning. If you could, introduce yourself a little, tell
Yeah,
about your work and everything.
yeah. So my name is Harish Munireddy. So I'm from Bangalore. So I did my B in computer science, and I worked in companies like Wipro, Symphony Services, and Tawans Technologies. So I started my career in Wipro as an application support engineer. So I was working for a client called Shell. So I think we all know the Shell petrol bunk.
Hmm.
So it was done in 2005. I think there were very few Shell petrol pumps, and I was the one who was managing the application, the POS softwares in the Shell petrol bunk. So I think that's where I started my career. Then I moved on to Symphony Services. There I started my as a core software developer in .NET Technologies, and then I moved. I grew as a team lead. Then I was a associate technical architect, and I was a delivery manager for a US based client in Tawans Technologies. So I played various roles like a software developer, team leader, I mean the architect, and a delivery manager. So while I quit my job, I was managing 25 people in my team. So I was a delivery manager for a US based client, Dollar Financial Group. So that's about my career in IT industry. And yeah,
Yeah. So you were in experience in the IT industry, in the IT domain for like more than 12 years, right?
yeah.
So how was this transition, from from working as an IT person to venturing into construction business, like how, if you could walk us through your journey of entrepreneurship.
Sure. So one thing in my entire IT industry, what I take away from the IT industry is, I think, a couple of things. What I learned is commitment, attention to detail, process driven, and the project management skills. So these are some of the things which I take away from my 12 years of IT industry experience. And in the project management skills, I would say, I think one of the few core values are, I think, being kind, showing empathy to others, and allowing people uh, around me to grow. I think if the people around us grow, I think we'll also grow.
Yeah.
And live by example. I think these are the few things I think I learned in my 12 years. And I think this is not specific to IT industry. I think, I mean, I think we can implement for even in the personal life or in any kind of a business. So that's how it is. So I think I was very keen into enter into construction industry, and I was exploring a lot of options. I had a got chance to meet one person, Mr. Subbarao. He was a general manager in Mana Projects. So I was just discussing with him what are the opportunities in construction industry. So he just gave me one brochure of a UPVC window company, and he told, I think this is some area you can think about it. To be frank, I think I was not knowing this UPVC subject at all. So in fact, for the first time when I heard UPVC, I even took little time to pronounce that UPVC as well. So then I took that brochure, then I started doing the analysis on this particular product. And I really saw, I think there's a huge demand. I mean, there's a lot of future for this particular segment, because I mean, there's a scarcity for wood, and more of like more challenges, I would say, because this is not just a ready-made product, I think, manufactured and shipped. So this involves the manufacturing and execution. So obviously, I think it will have a lot of challenges. So that's what I analyzed, and I also see there's a lot of unorganized market, and I saw that as a opportunity for us. So that's how it started, the journey with just one person, I mean, telling the name. Then I think I studied, I mean, understood every single detail about UPVC windows. And today I can confidently say I know in and out of the system.
Yeah, now since we are there in the UPVC, we're talking about it. How do you see the market, the Indian market, Indian UPVC market, keeping in mind the challenges and the opportunities?
Yeah, see, one thing, I mean, I also wanted to say when we started in 2015. So within 1 year, when we started getting a lot of retail orders, that's where the real challenge we saw. I mean, what happened? I mean, it was very difficult in tracking the orders. See, up to an extent, for example, of 10 orders or 15 orders, I think you can easily manage with the help of Excel sheets or whatever it is. But the real challenge is when you have a lot of customers, and because there has to be a collaboration between a lot of teams. So you talk about a sales team, there has to be a measurements team, production, installation, service. So there is a need for the collaborating of all the teams. So that's where I think we really saw the need for building IT systems. And we built the IT systems from the scratch. So it is more of like a ERP that has been built for our specific need. So I can confidently say that is one of the factors that is helping us in scaling. So I'm sure, I think after a point for anyone to scale, it is always going to be a challenge. I mean, this is an industry, scaling is very, very difficult. So this is one specific thing I think we have built the systems that is helping us in scaling. And we are no more a Bangalore company. So we have offices and experience centers throughout South India and one in Gujarat as well. So we have 13 showrooms. So we have crossed all the barriers. I mean, out from the Bangalore, being a Bangalore company, now we are we are spread across South India. Yeah. So that's the confidence. I think we're able to seamlessly execute the projects even outside Bangalore.
That's huge, sir.
Yeah. So, and coming to with respect to we also are associated with the builders like Prestige Group, I mean Brigade Group, SNN Builders, Mahindra Life Spaces, Ajmera, Mana Projects. So we are a premium vendor category, and for us the top customers are Prestige Group and Brigade Group. So we keep getting repeat orders from them. So that itself is an evidence the way how we execute the projects. So getting a repeat orders from a corporate clients like Prestige Group and Brigade Group is something the way how we execute the projects.
In spite of
So
being, so huge and being spread out all over, there's still a broader chunk of people who do not opt for the UPVC doors and windows. Where do you think that mentality is coming from, or how do you advise them?
See, UPVC windows as such is a great product. There's a lot of advantages over aluminum or wooden, as we all know. So for a customer, I think choosing the right company is a key. So the reason why I'm saying is, I mean, if there's any issue with the window, I mean, they cannot call a carpenter. So they need to call the
Yeah.
same window company for the service. So that's the reason. What I say is, I mean, the customers has to be really careful in selecting the right company. And see, unlike furniture, I mean, people usually change once in few years, and windows need not be changed in few years. So we give a warranty of 20 years, and easily a window
Okay.
has a lifespan of easily about 40 to 50 years. So it's, I mean, a customer is buying windows for once in a lifetime. So
Right.
this is what I would really reinforce for customers. I think they have to select the right window because the lifespan of windows is so good. And yeah, we are a premium brand. I mean, we are being reasonably priced
Yeah.
for the entire experience the customer is going to get. So we are definitely not a cheaper company. I mean, a customer is going to get that kind of a services from us.
Yeah.
And see, I mean, what I see is, I mean, um, UPVC windows, it's been growing tremendously.
Yeah.
So when we started in 2015, there was already an awareness of UPVC windows.
Right.
We didn't really had to market about UPVC. So for example, if you take someone who has started ventured into UPVC windows in 2005 or 2010, I'm sure they would have had a lot of challenges because people had to really explain the advantages of UPVC.
Yeah.
So our entry in 2015 was at the right time where the awareness was already there. But though, I mean, we also saw, I mean, that for to some extent we also had to explain for, but it was a limited for limited people, but the awareness was already there. But now when you see into 2021, the growth is so much. And
Yeah.
one example I would say, in 2015, the color windows, it was about max 7 to 8% of our overall order value was color windows. I mean, the wooden finish windows. Today we
Right.
are at 40 to 50%.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so our windows have reached even till the villages. Even farmers are also our customers. So that's the kind of
Wow.
reach. So our brand is not just limited to the tier one cities like Bangalore, Chennai, or Hyderabad. So we have our showrooms even at the tier two cities, and see that's the kind of reach we have right now. And
Yeah.
specifically when it comes to the special windows and doors, I think the bifold doors are something very special segment. And we could see the lot of people looking for this kind of a slide and fold doors. And I can confidently say we are one of the largest selling bifold doors. So we get a lot of orders in bifold doors. And again, when we talk about this particular UPVC window industry, see, I mean, one of the main challenges what I see is, we all know, I think there are a lot of multinational profile companies in India. Okay, so every profile company has specific standards to be followed by the window making company. So, but so this is not a controlled environment, because ultimately it depends on the window making company, the kind of quality he's going to give it to the customer. So though I think every multinational company has the standards, but I mean, this is not a controlled environment. So that's the opportunity we see. And we see to it, I mean, every single standard is being followed, and every single detailing is taken care. And even especially at the time of installation, I mean, having the skilled installation team and the QC done at site and services, these are some of the things I think we are good at.
You put a lot of, it's processed before presentation. You guys have planned it prior to, putting it forth. A lot of
Yeah.
preparation has gone behind it.
True,
So
true.
keeping in mind that India is a price sensitive market, right? So how do you price your products in a way that people can access it, since they're good products, they're not cheap products, they're products which have a huge time span along with a good warranty. How do you what is the pricing point like?
See, I never looked at, when I started this business, I never looked this as just one more window making company. I always
Mm,
looked at the entire experience, sales, production, I mean,
mm,
installation, service. So I look at as a overall experience. So for this is what the customer is going to pay for. So customer is
yeah,
just not going to pay for the windows alone. So for the whole experience, that's what he's going to pay for it.
yeah. Package what
Yeah.
me to that. So now, how do you see this industry in the next 5, 7 years? Because 5, 7 years back when you started it till now, there has been a huge lapse. There has been growth. So what do you expect in the next 5, 7 years?
See, I think I have seen a journey of 6 years, so it has grown tremendously.
Yeah,
I also see this is only going to grow multifold. I mean,
yeah.
whatever the growth we have seen in 6 years, I think probably in next 5 to 7 years, I think it should be 2 to 3 times of whatever we have seen, because the exposure to UPVC windows is so much. I think people are aware of the product, so it is only going to grow.
Mm, all right. So what are your future plans with Weatherseal in particular? Is there something else you want to venture in, or you'd be coming with more products, or just like what do you have in mind?
See, one thing is, I mean, we always explored system aluminum. I mean, we've been in this business for last 6 years. We have explored many times on system aluminum, but we have not made up our mind so far, because we wanted to
Yeah.
be very focused in what we are doing, and we wanted to be experts. And today we are experts in one particular segment, that is UPVC windows. So system aluminum is one thing which we are going to look at, but maybe in a year or two.
Yeah, you have new plans.
Yeah.
So there's one other thing that we want to ask you is that you personally undertook the journey from being an employee to an employer. You worked for somebody and then having people work for you. So how is the whole experience like? How what did you learn, and then how did you executed it when you became the master sort of?
Yeah. So it was not a easy job for me to quit a job that I was working for 12 years.
Yeah.
So my aspiration was to become an entrepreneur. So obviously I have to come out of that comfort zone. So we started with a few people, and today we are a 80 people company. And as I mentioned you, I think we are spread across throughout South India and Gujarat, and we've been growing 100% year on year. See, one thing I think I always I'm happy for is the creating a kind of work environment for the people. So always I look at our company should be the best place to work. So creating that kind of a environment, or I can say like a corporate culture. So that's something I think I always feel happy about it, and I'm so happy that I think I have created that kind of a culture. And and we are a process driven company. So
Mm,
I mean, we know that, I mean, we can get the results only by following certain processes. So so that's how we are different from other people. And in 2019, when we have seen a lot of growth, we also have invested in fully automated production line. So now all the operations like
right.
copy routing, drainage slot, reinforcement fixing. So everything is automated. So the customer is going to get that kind of a
Has it to do something particular with the mentality, like how when you work for somebody and when people work for you, has it got to do something with the mentality, or it's more about your personal ethics?
yeah, we learn. I mean, what happens when we work with for someone? I think we learn a lot of things, and we try to implement the same thing. So when you talk about the corporate culture, I mean, as I told you, This was something, I mean, I was how being treated by my managers. Okay,
Yeah.
so the kind of environment they have created for me, the kind of environment that has helped me to grow. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to do really different. Whatever I have experienced, I'm trying to give the same kind of experience to my people, and you
Right.
get that happiness. I mean, and also I think I can one thing clearly say, commitment was one thing which was always a driving factor for me. No matter what. For example, we used to have a daily calls in the evening around 5:30, 6 o'clock with US based clients. So,
Right.
I mean, most of the times I think some work wouldn't have happened by that time. And if they would have asked for an update, I would say, yeah, it will be done by end of the day. So I'm talking at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I think
Right.
the work is not fully completed. So I see to it, even if it is at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the night, complete that and go to bed. So that's the kind of commitment I used to have in my work. And I'm not doing anything different in this business. I'm trying to do the same thing here as well. So I'm not increasing my number of hours, but whatever I have been worked in the last 12 years, I think I've been continuing the same thing, I would say.
Right. So, sir, since you have had your own journey from scratch to, being this name, building a brand, if a newbie tries to enter the industry today, be it this industry or any industry, or starts to walk up the lane of entrepreneurship, what would you advise them? This is a spontaneous question.
See, always we'll have to look at any business for that matter as a customer first.
Yeah.
So always, I think we have to look at from the customer shoes. That's what we have to do it, and that's one of the principle of our company, and that's the first value of our company. So some of our values are like customer first, respect for people, accountability, speed, continuous improvement. These are the values of our company. People have to look at from the customer shoes, and because it's just not a product, it's an experience.
Right.
So a product plus installation and service. Yeah, I think that's how people have to look at.
And plan like you. Thank you so much for this wholesome conversation and your time. It has been really worth it. And once again, I'd like to wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors with Bed the Seal. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Devagya. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.